Hi, Darren Swenson here. Our Town, the program, 94.9 and 99.1 The River, the radio station, the sponsor, Decorah Bank and Trust. Thank you for spending part of your Thursday morning with us, like you have the opportunity to do each and every week. A little later on in the program, we'll talk to Clayton Burke with the Iowa DOT. Big news coming out this week at the Lansing Bridge project. The original bridge is going to be closed for good and demolished come this fall. Clayton will go into details about some of the decisions related to that. County Fair season continues next week in Northeast Iowa. Kevin Converse from the Fayette County Fair will join us. Also this weekend, it's the 175th birthday for the city of Calmar. And Renae, Frana, and Mary McEnaney will discuss the goings-on in Calmar this weekend. But we're going to start the program in the toy department this morning. The Kee Hawks of Lansing and New Albany are heading back to the state baseball tournament for the first time in 4 years and the 21st time in school history. They defeated Mason City Newman 8-5 in Decorah in the sub-state final on Tuesday night. After that game, I had a chance to have a conversation with Kee Hawk head coach Jim Mauss, and that conversation comes to you right now. It's Our Town. It's sponsored by Decorah Bank and Trust. And you're in tune to 94.9 and 99.1 The River.
Well, you just got dumped with water, Coach Mauss. How'd that feel?
A little colder than I expected on a warm night, but I think it was purple Gatorade. I can still smell it.
But it had to be a great feeling. You're heading back to state for the first time since 2021. What's made this a special and successful group?
I think just how much they've grown over the last couple years. You know, we graduated 10 seniors after the 22 season, and these guys didn't have a lot of varsity experience. We took our lumps, played a heavy schedule 2 years ago. I think we had to go 8-2 to finish 19-19, and then last year we had 26 wins, and then this year we had a challenging schedule, and the attitudes, the demeanor, the experience. I'm really proud of these guys because they really frustrated me 2 years ago, and that's why you don't give up on youngsters. And just watching them grow, I couldn't be more proud of this group.
You've talked about the overall growth. How much growth happened during this season?
I would say a lot. You know, we had a difficult time the last couple years coming back if we were down, and then this year we've been challenged. We've been down a few times. We scratch and claw, never got down, never got frustrated. But I think a lot of that's team chemistry. You know, the guys really like each other, like playing for each other. You know, we teach it, we preach it, but it takes the guys to do that, and great community and great parents too. Just proud of this group.
And getting down, you got down three pitches into the game tonight with the leadoff homer in the second inning. How was this team able to weather the tide?
Yeah, I think it was early. We just had to find a way to scratch and claw. We talked about it. Like, no matter what happens, we're together. We're gonna fight. We're gonna win pitches. No matter if it's bad or good, we're gonna scratch and claw, stay together. And dugout didn't get down very long. Stayed up, and then we put up a crooked number right back in it. And we added those two big insurance runs. Darling with the big home run for us. Then we got a little sloppy in that sixth inning or fifth inning, but hung on, did what we needed to do.
And tonight, you scored 8 runs. 5 of them came with 2 outs. You were 4 for 11, batting with runners in scoring position. Can't get much more clutch than that, can you?
No, and it wasn't one guy. It was all through the lineup. Just goes to show you, it truly is a team. Obviously pitching, we got our 2 workhorses. Defensively, we're pretty good. But offensively, we can hit like that, we'll make some noise at the state tournament.
And Jordan got the win on the hill tonight, scattering 8 hits. You knew you weren't going to keep an offense like Newman down, but he made the key pitches when it counted, didn't he?
He did, and that's what you talk about, not giving up. Not his best stuff, mechanically. He had a tough time locating. He was up in the zone. He was behind in the count. He was falling off towards first, and he made some really good adjustments, that third inning. And then we're like, man, I don't know if they're going to hit him now. Locked in for 2-3 more innings, and then we handed over to Mudd, and he put him away for us.
And he was just kind of on another level tonight. You could tell he really wanted this one, at least from my perspective. You agree?
Yeah, I do. Jordy and Mudd, both seniors, both guys we relied on. When they were 8th graders at the state tournament, they pitched big games for us as 8th graders. They were both dinged up a little bit, last year. So having them healthy this year and pitching the bulk of our innings, now we got them fresh for the state tournament. We're going to be ready to rock and roll.
And I know it's a really short trip, sarcasm down to Carroll, but it's going to be a fun bus ride. And I know when you guys go there, you guys just don't go there to play. You go there to play some winning baseball, don't you?
Yeah, I'd like to tell my boss that I'm going to be off all week next week instead of just part of the week. And I will tell you that when we made the trip in 2021, that 2-hour nap that I got on the bus is the best I've slept in probably 15 years. So I'm looking forward to that again.
Congratulations, Jim.
Yeah, thank you.
Coming up this weekend, the city of Calmar is going to be celebrating its 175th birthday. And here to talk about the celebration, Mary McEnaney and Renae Frana. And Renae, we'll start with you. The celebration going to be taking place both Saturday and Sunday. Why don't you run down some of the events that will kick off the day on Saturday?
Saturday morning, we're starting at the depot with a 5K. Followed with a pickleball court dedication, which is a new event or a new item. I'll let Mary talk a bit about that.
If we want to do that. Okay. The courts were newly painted, and this will be our first actual tournament on there. And there will be a dedication for one of our major donors for the pickleball courts. He's actually going to come and give a little short talk and also begin the tournament. So it'll be nice for us to meet him and show our appreciation to him for what he's done.
And where is the courts located?
Okay, got that up there. The 605 West Clay Street in Calmar, on the way down towards the Southwind Sports Complex.
Oh, very cool thing. That's coming up on Saturday morning. Also, you can get a little bit of exercise on Saturday morning, from what I understand, and have something good to eat right afterwards. Tell us about the run and the pancake breakfast.
Yep, so the pancake breakfast is sponsored by the Fidelity Bank here in town. So that's a free breakfast, and that'll be held underneath the tent. The tent is going to be located in the lot that's behind the bank parking lot and near the post office, in that vicinity. So you'll find a lot of the events happening under the tent. That's also the location of the car show, which is happening on the street between the post office and the Helms Funeral Home.
And Mary, from what I understand, coming up on Saturday afternoon, there's more fun to be had. Let's run down some of the afternoon events coming up on Saturday.
For the kids' games, there will be the Lutheran Church is going to be doing a bingo that they'll have. I think that's from noon, or when is it, 11 to noon. And then there's going to be a Little Miss Calmar contest. We're kind of bringing that back in. That's been, I don't know how many years since we've done that. It's been 25 years maybe.
It could be, yeah.
So we're bringing that in, and there'll be some in the, well, we'll talk about the parade later. But anyway, they'll be having that contest. And then after that, there'll be kids' games in the square. The Calmar Lutheran group is helping with that, doing some kids' games, and that'll be on the grass lot between the food pantry and Bouquet Appliance. And then there'll be a kids' pedal pull. That'll be right in that same area. Like Renae said, everything's kind of right in that tent area. A lot of the main things during the afternoon. And there'll be free watermelon and the food. I don't know if Renae, you want to kind of go over the food part?
The community club will be having they'll be grilling hamburgers and hot dogs and some pork sandwiches. And then we have St. Al's Rosary Society will be coming in. NICC will have cotton candy. The restaurants in town will be running specials all day. So there'll be lots of good things to come and eat and drink.
Seniors Club will have cookies and bars and lemonade in their center. If somebody wants to cool off, they can go in the air conditioning. And then we also have, there was some, trap team.
Yes, trap team will have ice cream. So we have, I think, everything covered for food and beverage. And then other entertainment is in the horseshoe parking lot going on in the afternoon from 1 to 9. So Pat has that covered over the horseshoe, and the toe tappers will be under the tent in the afternoon. So we'll have a couple of areas to seek entertainment for the adults and families.
And what would be a birthday party without a big parade coming up Saturday afternoon?
Yes, absolutely. So we'll kind of conclude the afternoon activities with the parade at 5, and the parade will be on the same street as the car show is being held. So that will run, it'll start, if anybody wants to join the parade, there's no pre-registration required. It'll start down by the Southwind complex, and then it will run all the way to Calmar manufacturing area is where it will end. So that street between the post office and Helms Funeral Home is kind of the easiest way to identify that. One of the other things I think worth mentioning is the depot outlet has been cleaned and displays have been set up. We have the first city council minutes from 1870 on display with a lot of other artifacts. So that will be up and available for people to walk through, as well as some other historical scavenger hunts that will be set up around town. And on Sunday, Carla Brown will be doing a presentation about the first settlers of Calmar, and that'll be at the Lutheran Church.
So all sorts of things coming on, and some musical entertainment, from what I understand, to end the day on Saturday night as well.
Yes, Whiskey Grove and Pivo are hosting Angus Khan in the Whiskey parking lot. So for those of you of a certain age, you remember Whiskey's outside dances. So that will be happening again this year.
All sorts of fun things going on. How much effort, how much time, how much work has gone into throwing this shindig this weekend?
That would be hard to quantify.
But obviously, a bunch of efforts and a lot of people involved celebrating a big time birthday this weekend. Anything we're missing? Anything else you want to pass on to the public, as long as you got the forum?
I can say we got the Lions train. We haven't talked about the NACC Cougar train. There's going to be a lot of other games that we really haven't mentioned, probably.
Hard to fit it all in.
Yeah,
I guess there's a Calmar community Facebook page.
Okay.
That's probably the best place to stay informed, especially if there's any changes in the venue, or pray for weather, pray for sun. So if there is something that's going to change, that's probably the best place to seek that information out, or the radio.
All right. Well, we're always here to help you guys out with that end of things. But Renae and Mary, we appreciate you taking a few minutes to tell us about the 175th birthday of Calmar coming up this weekend. I think Calmar looks great for 175 years myself. We appreciate your efforts in organizing the event, and we, as always, thank you for the time.
All right. Thank you for your time, Darren.
Thank you.
Mary McEnaney and Renae Frana joining us to tell us about Calmar's 175th birthday coming up this weekend. Next week, fair season continues here in Northeast Iowa with the Fayette County Fair in West Union. It will take place next Tuesday through Saturday, and Kevin Converse is the president of the Fayette County Fair Board. And Kevin, again, I asked this of everybody involved in fairs, how much work, how much effort, how many people are involved in making sure the 5 days of the Fayette County Fair are a fun one for the people of the county?
It's a big undertaking. Sometimes I don't know if people quite know how much time it does take, but it really starts about the day after fair gets over the year before, with planning and getting everything together. And we have a board that puts in hours and hours in these last 3 weeks. There's, somebody's been there, every day. And so a lot of time, and we actually there's a huge Holstein dairy show going on right now. So I think there's 230 Holsteins up at the fairgrounds today, and they go out, and then we got to clean everything out and rebed, and the kids will start bringing back in on Sunday. So it's been a mad dash, but everybody, all hands on deck, and it's been great. And we have great county support from everybody. So it's been amazing, and that's why we kind of have the success we do.
You mentioned the dairy show going on today. I know your fair board runs the racetrack every Friday night. How important is it to keep the fairgrounds active outside of those 5 days coming up next week?
Yeah, I mean, it is just one of those things. The more things that go on down there, the more things stay up, kept up and looking good. And so, yeah, the races go every day, and really throughout the year, there's not many weeks when there isn't some event going on down there. So it's much more than just the 5 days of fair, but yeah, it's great. And like I said, I think it's a big boost for the area of just people always coming to town and visiting the different events. So we're proud, and we think we make a big impact on Fayette County.
And let's run down the grandstand entertainment for next week. A lot of racing and a lot of musical entertainment.
Yeah, we call it the Fun Fair, and so Tuesday night we're kicking off with a bang, and we start out 5 o'clock is the community meal, where free meal. Iowa pork producers will be there, so you can stop down and get a free meal, and then the queen crowning, and then up in the grandstand is the late models are rolling in. And then even Tuesday night, we even have a little band called Socks in the Frying Pan. They're one of the number one bands out of Ireland, making their U.S. Tour. First stop is at Fayette County. So they just did a PBS show, and so we're pumped to have them there. They're going to be there at 8:30 that night. So if you got a little Irish in you, Tuesday night is the night for you. They're going to be in the new beer garden and egg center, and so we're excited to have them there Tuesday also.
How did you book a band like that? I got to ask
Well,
that
so
question.
the Green Door in Claremont has got a pretty big Irish theme there, and they're also part of the Waterloo Irish Fest, so they kind of know a lot of these bands,
Okay.
and so they kind of hooked us up with it. And yeah, when I heard about it, I looked them up. I'm like, well, the only band I can find with that name is like one of the number one bands in Ireland. I can't believe it's them. They're like, yeah, no, that's them or whatever. So we're excited. It's going to be fun. I've watched them on the internet. They're a lot of fun. So we're excited about that Tuesday night.
A lot of fun going on Tuesday night. The fun will continue Wednesday. Let's run down those events.
Yeah, so the bus races and the bus races have been huge for us. We're bringing in 2 more sets of bleachers for that night because it's crazy the amount of people that show up. I think they've tipped one over every year and the crowd loves it. And so the bus races is the big one Wednesday, and so yeah, anybody that wants to have a little fun and remember riding those icy snow roads in the winter of going to school in Iowa, it kind of brings you back to those memories, seeing them go around the track.
And carnival. Let's before we go on to Thursday, let's bring up the carnival. Kind of a uniqueness to the Fayette County Carnival.
Yeah, it's a free carnival, and people are like, what do you mean? You have wristbands and then you can ride the ride? I'm like, no, it's 100% free. All the local support we get pays for that band, or pays for the carnival to come in. And so if you look at our website, there's different times. I think Tuesday they start at 5 and they kind of move up an hour every day when they open, and they stay open till 10. But yeah, you get in line, you can ride the rides as many times as you want, and there is absolutely no cost, and that's because of all the great support of Fayette County. So it's we really think that's a good deal, and that really brings in, that's kind of our niche, that brings in the crowds, and so the kids love it. And so yeah, we're really happy. Free carnival, free parking, free admittance to everything. Your only cost would be if you want to go to a grandstand event. So we're pretty proud of that.
And let's move on to Thursday. The fun continues.
Yeah, so then that's the Rage 40 late models up there in the grand, or modifieds, I believe, up there, the Rage 40 up there in the grandstands, and so that'll be another big night of racing. Yeah, so Thursday should, if you like racing, Tuesday night with the late models, and then Thursday with modified should be big nights of racing.
And letting the musical entertainment takes over on Friday in the grandstand. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so the big entertainment Friday night is Hotel California, which is an Eagles tribute band, and then World Turning, which is the Fleetwood Mac, and I think both those are kind of the number one bands for those genres. And so yeah, that's if you like that kind of, the Eagles, the Fleetwood Mac. I mean, I don't think you're gonna have a song played that you don't know and love listening to. So that'll be a really fun night. I think it's $20 in a grandstand ticket and maybe 30 on the track. So pretty cheap entertainment of that quality. And I say you're going to get to hear those bands like they were back when they were in their 40s. And so a lot of those bands are getting a little older now, but you're going to still hear that great music. And so it should be a lot of fun Friday night.
And then the big country show coming up on Saturday night.
Yep. Saturday night then is Chris Jansen with Jackson Dean. And I saw Chris at State Fair a few years back. He is awesome. Great energy. He was flying around stage. He was playing the harmonica. I loved the show when I went there. So I think if people want a high energy, fun show, they definitely should come out. And then Jackson Dean is kind of an up and comer that's got some big hits out there on the radio too. So it's going to be full of energy and a great time. And so we're excited about that. We expect a big crowd. And with being on the fair board, you watch the weather all the time, and that that really worries you. But it looks to me like Friday and Saturday look good coming up. So we'll cross our fingers. Yeah, knock on wood or whatever. But we're excited. It's going to be big. It's always fun. We call it the fun fair, and we always have fun there. And so I think if you come out, you'll have a great time. Our food top notch. Just to throw out there, I don't know how many county fairs have a Food Network star at their fairgrounds, but Tyrone Matthews, who's just competed in the barbecue brawl with Bobby Flay, he's at our fair all week long. So come out and test that great food. We have all kinds of great food on the grounds.
If you walk away from a county fair hungry, it's your own darn fault.
Yeah,
a couple of events
sure.
I know I saw on your Facebook page that I want to ask you about. A diaper derby?
Yeah,
what's happening there?
Yeah, the diaper derby. So if you got a little guy in a diaper And you think he's, somebody told me once Peyton Manning won the diaper derby once when he was a kid. So if you think you got a great athlete in his future, bring him out. Maybe have something to shake to get him to crawl to you. But the races are going to be on, and see who's got the fastest little guy or girl out there.
And a cornhole tournament coming to the fair as well.
Yep, I believe that's Friday, and so that should be a lot of fun. That's over by the beer garden, and so you can go on, like I said, check out the website, and you can sign up for any of that stuff. And just there's all kinds of entertainment throughout the week. I think there's 4-H and FFA shows just about every day, and so all kinds of stuff going on.
Are people that call it bags instead of cornhole, are they allowed in the tournament?
I mean, maybe it's debatable, but we probably, at the fun fair we let everybody in.
Anything we're missing, Kevin? Anything else you want to pass on to the public?
I don't think so. Like I said, if you haven't been there before, give us a chance. You'll have a great time. There's just so much different activities going on. Fayette COIfair.com is the website. Look that up for the schedules, and we're kind of adding to it all the time. I think I did forget to mention Thursday is the Veterans Breakfast. So, which and that's the other thing. So Friday night, if you're a veteran or you're veteran or active military, you get into that concert for free. So just come in and let us know that you were a veteran, and we'll let you get to go to that concert for free. And we really appreciate all that they've done for us. So, come in that night. And then Thursday is a free breakfast for the veterans, and that's actually community breakfast too. But like I said, we appreciate everybody coming out, and I think it's going to be a great time.
Well, very cool thing you're doing on Friday, Fayette County Fair. It's a very cool thing year in and year out. Kevin, thanks for taking the time and previewing the fair with us. Best of luck with the event next week.
Awesome. Thank you.
Kevin Converse, he is the president of the Fayette County Fair next Tuesday through Saturday in West Union. Some major news came out regarding the Lansing Bridge project this week, and every time there's major news about the Lansing Bridge project, Clayton Burke with the Iowa DOT, always kind enough to give us a few moments. And Clayton, it was announced this week that the current bridge will close and be demolished beginning this fall. What was the reason everyone involved came to that conclusion?
Yeah, so we've had several instances where we've been working on the new construction and then the existing bridge moves, so we have to close it and analyze the structure or repair it to make sure that it's safe to reopen. We recently had another event where we were working on some temporary piling and the bridge moved about 1.5 inches and we had to close it and analyze it again. We found through that analysis that the bridge was still safe in its current condition, so we could keep it open. But looking at continuing construction, for the safety of the public and the safety of the workers driving that piling right next to the bridge, there was no safe way to continue construction of the new bridge while the existing bridge was still there. So to keep everything safe, we've decided to demolish that first before we continue with the construction of parts of the new bridge.
And for those that haven't been to the Lansing area, how close is the new bridge from the current bridge?
So if I remember correctly, the outside of the new bridge structure is only about 25 feet away from the outside of the existing bridge structure. So they're very close together.
And is this a common occurrence when you're building a new bridge to replace a current structure? The construction on a new bridge can affect the current structure?
It's a challenge that we see in certain instances. It's not as common because we're not often working next to a structure with the same boundary conditions. It's not, almost 100-year-old structure that just has timber pile in sand. Often we're working with interstate bridges that were built in the 60s that have, different foundations. But in this case, we were really stuck with the location of the new bridge due to strict compliance with our federal codes. So there's the National Historic Preservation Act and the National Environmental Policy Act. And I see a lot of questions online about, well, who in their right mind would build a bridge so close to the existing bridge? And we got stuck with having the minimum impact on the local cultural resources and the local environment and the national refuge that the bridge runs through. It came down to either building it that close or closing the bridge in the first place, demolishing it, and then building it in the same location. So we went with the option that had the best chance of maintaining traffic throughout the construction project. And just unfortunately, it reacted more than anybody thought it would, and we're stuck in the situation that we're in.
How do you go about demolishing the current bridge, or can you answer that question yet?
Yeah, we are I guess the contractor has provided some thoughts on how they think they're going to demolish it. We don't have an accepted demolition plan yet, which is what they're actively working on, but it sounds like they will first. It's not going to be very exciting for the first couple months. They have to take the steel grate bridge deck off and then remove some of the steel beams underneath the bridge. And then after that's complete, they will put explosives on the bridge and implode it and drop it into the river, and then take all that steel out of the river and dispose of it. They are planning to get back to construction as fast as they possibly can. They're going to leave a portion of the bridge on the Iowa side that sits on top of the first pier. They're only going to demolish the very center portion of the bridge and everything to the east of that. And then after they get the steel truss off of the piers on the east side, then they can get back to that temporary piling that they were working on.
I know the press release that the DOT sent out earlier this week says this will happen this fall. When you're demolishing a bridge like that, do you have to take into account the potential barge traffic down the river to make things as safe and to make sure that barge traffic can keep going as possible, or is that a factor at all?
That is yes, a key factor that we are considering. So typically if you demolish a river bridge over a navigation channel during the navigation season, you have to get a closure period from the Coast Guard. And at most they might give you 72 hours to drop the bridge and clear the steel out before barge traffic resumes. In our case, it's looking like we will close it this fall, and then the implosion of the bridge will occur after the navigation channel is closed, so we won't have to worry about barge traffic.
I know you haven't given specific dates. Those are to be determined on when this will happen. What will go into setting the dates for this to actually happen?
It really all depends on that demolition plan I mentioned. They have to hire an engineering firm to prepare that, and then we have to take the demolition plan that the contractor's engineering firm prepares and get it accepted by all of the local stakeholders. So the railroad, the Coast Guard, the Army Corps, the Fish and Wildlife Service, everybody in the area. And we can be kind of optimistic with the date that we'll be done with that, but we don't know how long that review process is going to take. So that's why for now we're just saying this fall.
So there's a reason these things don't happen overnight based on what you just said, right?
Exactly.
So,
It takes some time to do it right.
and moving forward on this end of things, and knowing the fact this will be probably a minimum of 2 months before the bridge gets closed and demolished, does that allow you plenty of time to come up with some options for people to get across the river once the bridge is closed?
Yes, we're very thankful this time we can be proactive and not responding to an emergency closure. We're keeping the water taxi in the back of our minds as a backup option, but we are, due to the length of the closure, this time we are looking into a car ferry. And so we're trying to locate an actual car ferry vessel and then a crew to operate that vessel, and then landing points on both the Iowa and Wisconsin side. It's been quite a challenge to actually locate a vessel that we wouldn't have to cut into pieces and transport across the country, which would take quite a while. But we do have a couple leads, and there are several challenges to still overcome, but we are working very diligently on getting that set up.
Is it possible to keep a water taxi or a car vessel going in the wintertime?
That's another challenge that we're looking into. It would involve ice breaking, which thankfully we've got the construction project going on right next to the to some points that we're looking into for the landings. So if the contractor's already keeping the navigation channel open, we may be able to work with the contractor to keep a path for the water or for the car ferry open.
Are there any planned closures of the bridge before its ultimate closure and demolition this fall?
No, we intend to leave it open until the long-term closure.
Anything else the public needs to know as of this time?
I see a lot of questions online about, well, why isn't the contractor working, 24/7, weekends, around the clock? And at this point, it's just because we're waiting on that demolition plan. So there's no point in speeding up the contractor just to wait until that plan is done. And after we start the demolition, that's when we'll look into speeding any possible way we can speed up the construction and get it done faster than we initially anticipated.
And I know the plan is to open the new bridge in 2027. Do you have any more specific of a target than the calendar year of 2027, or can you really say right now?
We were looking at late 2027, so about a 2-year closure period.
All right. Anything else the public needs to know right now?
I think that's all for now.
All right. Appreciate Clayton's willingness to give us an update and always give us a few minutes when major news is announced on the Lansing Bridge project. Appreciate the time and the information, Clayton.
Anytime for you, Darren.
Clayton Burke with the Iowa DOT.